Today's main event, Snug versus Conch. 5 rounds to decide which one's the winner. Coming up next on Piercing Battles, episode number 2. For those that are new to the channel, welcome to the Body Piercing and Tattooing channel. Hope you're enjoying the videos. Hope you find them useful and helpful, but you may not know who I am. My name is DaVo. I'm a professional body piercer and have been since 1994. I own and operate the Axiom Body Piercing studio located right here in Des Moines, Iowa, inside Skin Kitchen Tattoo. So what we're going to do today is we're going to go through 5 topics, 5 rounds to decide out of these two, Conch and Snug, who the winner is. This is for people that are trying to decide between the two piercings. It's a series that I just started, Piercing Battles. I've done these during pros and cons back in the day, but this time is going to be new. This is a little different. What we're going to cover is anatomy, placement, healing, jewelry choices, and living with the piercing. Round 1, anatomy. Conch. Most people have the anatomy for this piercing. It's pretty rare that I come across somebody that I'm like, no, you don't want to do this. I can't remember one time, actually. It's a pretty easy piercing to find the correct anatomy on and to do it on. The Snug, however, really needs a very definite type of anatomy. The Snug is done through this area right here. So you really have to have a pronounced area of this like ridge that's here or fold where it can be done. On that one, it's going to be Conch starting off with a lead of 1, Snug 0. Moving us on to round number 2, placement. With Conch and Conch piercings, you have a lot of different options for placement. You can place it pretty much anywhere in this area, from up here at the top all the way down to the bottom, kind of behind the lobe. You can place it, the more traditional placement is here. A lot of people will come up with different names for different placements, but the reality is it's all the same piercing. The other advantage with placement with the Conch is you can also do it in combination with a helix piercing to create what is called a faux snug, which will look a lot like a snug. Now the Snug has a limited placement. It has to be in this area where this fold kind of thins out and becomes most predominant. You can move it slightly up and down, but you're pretty much right in that spot. That's where it goes. So after 2 rounds, that one goes to Conch, making it 2-0. Conch in the lead, going into round number 3. Round number 3, healing with the Conch. It can be, it can have some difficulties during the healing process. It can be a little difficult to isolate. Jewelry will need to be downsized, and oftentimes with these, they can go through phases of swelling and not swelling and swelling and not swelling. So a lot of possible jewelry changes, grumpiness, etc. It goes through periods of grumpiness during the healing process. The process can be a bit long. It could go through like a month of being great, and then suddenly either it got bumped just right or you rolled over on it in the night, and suddenly you're having issues. It's just one of those piercings. Swelling is always a factor with these, though I have learned, because when we first started doing these, we did them with rings. Rings were a lot more prone to all these problems. The stud-style jewelry, not so much so. It's easier to isolate with less problems. Now the Snug, it is harder to isolate than the Conch. If you can imagine, the Conch is sitting down in this area, the Snug's right out here. So any contact that comes against that is going to cause issues. It's going to cause it to be grumpy, sore, etc. The other thing is it is extremely sensitive to trauma during the healing process. Also, they take longer to heal than Conches usually do. And they are a lot more prone to migration or rejection, where they move out of position or the body completely rejects it. So round number 3, healing, goes to Conch, making it 3-0, going into round number 4. And now round number 4, jewelry choices. With a Conch, you can switch between studs and rings. I do advise you that if you're going in to get it done, that you mention that you want to wear a ring in it at some point so that the positioning is correct where a ring can fit there comfortably, so they're not too deep into the ear. There's a large variety of different ends that you can put on the studs, a huge amount, especially threadless jewelry, and there's a lot of different jewelry ring designs that you can put in these. So there's a lot of options. The Snug, you're kind of limited to curved barbells. I have seen these with rings in them. I have pierced them with rings in them back in the day, and they didn't do too well. They can cause a lot of problems, and they're hard to isolate. Definitely don't want to pierce with them. If I would have had the option back then, I wouldn't have pierced with them. But I have seen people wear rings in these. It's possible, but it isn't really advised. You're kind of limited to just ends, and there are a large variety of different ends out there, from threadless to threaded, that you can put in these curved barbells, but you're stuck with that curved barbell. That is the jewelry that you're probably going to wear in it for its lifetime. Because of the limit of the Snug jewelry that's available, I would give this one again to the Conch, making the Conch 4, Snug 0. Hasn't scored a point yet. Let's see, we're going into the final round, and round number 5, living with the piercing. Conch, yep, it still doesn't like contact. You need to limit that contact even after the piercing is healed. Sometimes they can flare up or be at least uncomfortable for a day or two if they're treated rough. Rubbed the wrong way, so to speak. They can close pretty rapidly. It's not uncommon to have this for a period of time, have it seasoned, take it out for a couple hours, and have issues getting it back in. It's definitely something you're going to need to leave the jewelry in. If you decide you want to wear a ring in it, it can be difficult to isolate it, just basically because you have this ring hanging out there. And there will be a lot more movement. That can agitate even a healed piercing. You're going to want to wait a long period of time until that piercing is completely seasoned. I would suggest waiting at least a year before you switch out to a ring. As far as that is concerned, like I already mentioned, there's a great deal of different jewelry that you could choose from for that particular piercing, for conch piercings. Lots of variety, lots of things, lots of ways you can really change the look of that piercing. Especially with the threadless ends, you can go with single point, like just gems, all the way up to multiple clusters, curved objects, all kinds of fun stuff that you can put on as far as ends. The Snug, basically, you definitely have to isolate this even after it heals. You will probably never be able to sleep on that side ever again without having problems the next day. It is very acceptable to trauma even after it heals. It can close extremely rapidly. This is one of those piercings that it's not even hours, it's minutes, no matter how long you've had it. Your body just does not like this piercing and wants to get rid of it, is what I'm getting at. Must check the ends regularly, basically because this is normally done with threaded jewelry. Threaded jewelry can't come unscrewed, so it's going to take another level of maintenance to make sure that jewelry ends are on there tight. As I already mentioned in the last one, there's a very limited amount of jewelry. It's not a piercing that you can just like change the look of easily. It's kind of simple, things that don't get caught on things, simple ends. So I'm going to give that one also to the Conch. So at the end of 5 rounds, the winner is Conch 5, Snug 0. Do you have either of these piercings? What was your experience like? Did I miss something or didn't think of something? Please leave a comment and share your experience for others. If you thinking about getting either of these piercings, if you feel like there's a topic I didn't cover, please leave a comment. I'll be happy to answer that when I have time. Till next time, here's hoping all your piercings heal with ease and without a single issue. And if you're in the Des Moines, Iowa area, I'd love to see you for your piercing needs in the future. Have a good day, everybody. Take care, and we'll see you in that next video.